Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead. Time for another sandwich recipe. Before we start with the sandwich, we're actually going to do the prep for the side dish. So, I bought an extra mushroom last week, so we need to get that used up. And I got yellow squash for 39 cents a pound at Horrocks the other day, on Monday. So, we're going to mix that together so we can use these two things up. And it's a pretty good side. So, we're going to start out by just prepping up our yellow squash. We're going to get that sliced, not real thick, but not real thin either. Now, the real big ones, I'm not going to leave them that big. Definitely not. I hope you guys have been liking this. I hope people like today's sandwich. I tried to get like basic sandwiches, but at the same time, I wanted something with a twist to those basic sandwiches, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to put these in thirds, the great big huge pieces. Because we don't want it, you know, like you're taking a great big old chunk and you don't have a big chunk of your mushrooms either. I love mushrooms. I could leave them whole. I do love mushrooms. I've never tried anything other than the regular ones and morels. We used to have morels a lot when we were kids. We'd always go out hunting for them. I haven't been out morel hunting in years. I have something today that I was talking to Angela about. So I think my first video on that is going to come out maybe Friday. Depends on how early I got my grandkids. And if people want to join it, they can. It won't be like what we just did with Jarred Up July. It'll be something that you can add to if you want to and try to help people out, or you don't have to. Well, there's gonna be a lot of this, and that was actually the smallest one that they had that I bought. I don't like them when they get super big because you get, like, you see a bunch of seeds in there, and I prefer not to do that. Then we're gonna slice up our mushroom. Get them in there. And the sandwich is going to be super easy. Well, this is kind of easy too, so you know what I mean. But this is a great way to use up the mushrooms without having to get steak out or something else. And use them up too. Because they were $1 something last week at, I think I got them at Aldi, maybe. And I thought, well, I'll use it for something else. I was going to use it for something else. Then we ended up not cooking dinner. And so it wasn't used up for that. But when I do something like that, I don't want it to be where that one product goes to waste just because I didn't do something, you know what I mean? Or life changes, or we have to do something different, and, you know, that's just life. Sometimes you have to do that. I don't know yet if there'll be any cooking videos this weekend. Kind of disgusted because Saturday, Tom will be working on that thing for about 3 hours, which is not bad, but guess what? 63% chance of rain. I'm like, I just cannot win for losing. I've not been to the lake this year, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. But we're going to still try to find things to do just to get away from the house. We've been under a lot of stress with everything that's going on, all that, and we just need a break. We need a break. I need a break. So, I know people say, like, you can't afford it, you can't do this, you can't do that, but you know what? You live once in this lifetime. And if you go through this whole lifetime and you do nothing and you just, you know, work, was it worth the living? I'm being honest. Like, was it worth the living? I'm not taking a vacation this year. I'd like to, but that's not going to happen. We do have 2 places planned for next year. Let's see how that works. Just like Tom was going to have 1 day left of his PTO, Monday got sent home because no electricity. There went his last day of PTO. Life happens, right? Alright, so I'm going to use that complete seasoning on this. I really do like this stuff. That stuff is so good. And just let it kind of simmer over there, and I'll get it stirred together. So, the next thing is, this is going to be an egg salad sandwich. My countertop is clean. I used my little Susty's egg thing. I love that thing. I can do 9 eggs up in a few minutes. Put them right in cold water and they peel so easy. So I really do love that thing. There's certain things that you just keep after you do a review on because you know that belongs in your kitchen. That's just how it is. And I was glad to see someone else uses a rice paddle for other things too, because I do think it works great for a lot of stuff, not just rice. So we're going to get all these eggs chopped up. This little gadget is so cool. It does your eggs up in such a nice little piece there. It's wonderful. Now the recipe that I'm going to post where I got this idea, of course it's not going to follow what I'm doing. So you do you and what you feel comfortable with and what you want for your family. I'm going to do the recipe like I normally would do egg salad. And that's how I'm doing it. Plain and simple, that's how I'm doing it. But of course, there's going to be other stuff. And I'm going to need a bigger bowl, because this is not going to work. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let's get a bigger bowl. That should work. One good thing about a small kitchen, you don't have to go far for everything. Alright, so we're going to put it in there. Now the next thing, it calls just for mayo and whatever, but I always add sweet relish to mine. I don't have any sweet relish up here, but I do have my tomato sweet relish. So we're going to use some of that. I gave it a test. I think Tom will like it. I'm running low on my sweet relish. And well, cucumbers didn't come in this year, so I won't be making any more, which really sucks. So the next thing is, Sherry, are you listening? Bacon. We're going to crunch up what I had left over from yesterday. This is going to be bacon, egg, and cheese. No, cheese, bacon, I don't know. But anyway, I'll post what it's really called. And theirs calls for 6 eggs. I did 9. Just because if there's leftovers, then I can have that tomorrow. And I'm sure it didn't call for this much bacon, but you know what? I didn't have a whole ton left, so why not use it? There's all the bacon I had left yesterday too. Love when we can use stuff up. Isn't that great? Alright, so the next thing it calls for is let me stir my veggies up a little bit. Might have to add a little bit more butter to it. Alright. If I have to. That's okay. Alright, now it calls for a cup of cheese. There we go. Alright. Now we need mayo. I should have gotten my spoons down before I did this, huh? It says a half a cup of mayo to start out with, and then you can add more if you need to. So that's what we'll do. I've never added all this kind of stuff to an egg salad sandwich. That's why I figured, you know what, that looks really good. Let's try that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need more. Let me get a different spoon. Because that's going to be just too dry. But you never know until you start stirring it up and whatever. I could have probably gotten even a bigger bowl than that. Look at that. Oh my. Want to make sure it's all mixed in there together. It did call for salt and pepper too, and I'll add that before we put it on the bread. That's just about right, I'd say. I don't like my egg salad to be too watery, but I don't like it dry either. What did I do with my lid? There it is. Alrighty. So let's see if we need to add anything. Whoops, sorry. That thing always comes untightened. Alright. Ready? That's good. But I wouldn't add any salt. Because I think with the bacon, I think that adds enough for the salty taste. And with the mayo and everything else. I got a nice piece of bacon in that too. Alright, so I'm going to get the rest of this cooked down, and then we'll come together and put it back. We'll come back and put it all together. Alrighty, just got off the phone with Tom, and I guess our plans are made for the weekend. He got mandatory for Saturday, and they're talking about Sunday as well. So I guess we're not going anywhere this weekend either. Yeah. Anyways, he's going to be calling back in a few minutes, and I'll put the hot stuff on the plate at the last minute just before he gets in here so that it's nice and hot still for him. But let's get these sandwiches put together. This is actually Hawaiian bread, and it was like, I don't know, 60 cents a loaf or something. And I might actually have to go get another loaf of bread because I didn't plan on having to make anything all this weekend. So, things change. You adapt. You do what you gotta do, you know? That's how that works. And he's supposed to help his cousin on Saturday, so I don't know. I'm a little disappointed if you can't tell. I am a little disappointed. Maybe a lot. So then I'll get him 2 sandwiches for work tomorrow. And there should be enough for me to have lunch tomorrow too. So that's always good. And then of course as veggies, I'll make sure that I put those in a separate bowl because we don't want the bread and everything to get all wet. Alrighty. There we go. And 2 sandwiches for lunch. And then I just put those in a gallon baggie. And then he has a plate to eat on. Alright. So, let's give the sandwich a try. What do you think? That bread's really good too. That's yummy. Very, very yummy. So, I'll get everything else put together and we'll meet you at the table. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Just dandy.
Awesome. So there is dinner. It's bacon, cheese, egg salad, I think. And then I've got yellow squash and mushrooms.
Yeah, yellow squash and mushrooms.
If you can get it in your mouth, right?
Mm-hmm. You got a very small mouth.
Yeah, right. Okay. Try your sandwich.
Dennis said we did. Or I did.
Well, he's the one that went out of business, too.
Yeah, they
so.
went out of business, so I guess we can't trust that, can we?
Nope. And that's got that green tomato relish. What do you think?
Pretty good.
Even with bacon in it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really tasty, actually.
You didn't cut your sandwich in half.
Because I already took a bite out of it.
I mean, you can't cut it in half.
Well, I don't need it to be cut in half.
Oh, that's true, because if you had it cut in half, you'd be eating on this side, not this side.
Right. I do that as a special treat for you. How's that?
So noted.
I know, but they're not cut in half tomorrow for your lunch, so.
What?
All right, we're going to let him eat. You guys have a blessed night. Be a blessing, and goodbye, Tom.
Goodbye, Tom.
You guys have a great night.